Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, Buckeye Hoops fans. Hey, you still got a couple of hours until that really big football game, the Super Bowl, happens. We are hoping to have a nice tune-up for that, watching these Buckeye basketball players lead us to a big victory on the road at Nebraska. Played hard, backcourt, especially Micah Parrish and John Mobley Jr., those guys brought it today. Micah more than he ever has as a Buckeye. 30 points, 11 for 21. With Devin Royal being out with an injury for much of the game, I think Parrish took it on his own to be more aggressive and look to help this team offensively. He did that. John Mobley was knocking in shots as well as he had in a good long time, 5 for 10 from downtown, but just not a whole lot elsewhere for this team today. 79-71 the final. Nebraska knocks off the Buckeyes. We are always joined by one of the fine assistants from Ohio State basketball on our extended postgame show, and we kick it back out to Pinnacle, which was a place that was rocking when Nebraska got hot in the second half. Luke Simons joins us now. Luke, thanks for doing it. Mentioning what John Mobley and Micah Parrish were able to do. Was one of those games where Bruce Thornton wasn't able to find a lot offensively. What was the difference in your eye tonight?
Yes, sir. Tim, on one hand, you're really happy to see a couple guys that can just really step up and fill it up on the offensive end. On the other hand, you look back and think, as a coaching staff, how could we have gotten Bruce going a little bit, especially there in the second half? You look at the stat sheet, excellent ball care in a place that you mentioned was really turned up today. I mean, great crowd, loud crowd, getting behind a team that's coming off of a 3-game winning streak, and credit to their staff. They're, even with their winning, they're looking for answers. They're switching up their starting lineup. They've found some answers certainly on the offensive end, but I think a lot of it, as you sort of mentioned, comes down to they assist on more than half of their field goals, and we're down there at a third. So while you have a couple guys step up, they were able to find some easier buckets than we were.
Is that, Luke, is it something right now when Devin goes out of this game, and I don't know if you guys consider him to be a true big, but he's obviously a skillful guy. And so when Devin gives you something on the glass and he's still able to score at a rate, like you're getting almost a bonus there. But when he's out and teams know that the focal point of your offense is coming from the backcourt, what makes that difficult with the way teams are defending you when, guys like Sean or Bradshaw haven't proven to be those offensive threats as big guys yet this year?
You hit it on the head, Tim. I mean, switching against Devin Royal. So for listeners, like when Devin comes up and sets a screen for one of our guards, and they switch one of their smaller players onto Devin, he can roll them down into the post, and now we throw it in there. He can operate in the post. He can pass out of it, that kind of stuff. When you don't have Devin as a threat down there, it changes, and they might be more likely to switch, which, if Devin starts punishing some people in the post and they don't switch on a screen, now you've got our guards getting loose coming down toward the rim. And then the other thing that you mentioned briefly there, but is a huge part of it, there was a period at the beginning of the first half where we were not as productive on the glass as we could have been. And our offensive rebounding tonight was the lowest that we've had in several games. That was something that we've really picked up over the last few games. And that, again, is missing Devin. Devin's been great on the offensive glass.
Nebraska's offensive rebounding, though, didn't kill you. It was just the rebounding in general where they got you 37-28 in the end. What are some things that you guys are trying to work through? I know rebounding has been a thing. Like the numbers were close to Nebraska. I think it was like 36 a game to 35 a game. I'm sure that's something that disappoints you guys, being out rebounded like that against a team that you could have done a little bit better on the glass versus.
Certainly. And, that's where when you hit that lull in the second half where we were stuck in the 50s, I think it may have been like we got stuck on 56 for a minute there. That's where you can get yourself going with an offensive rebound. You can get yourself over that hump a little bit. And, we did our job on the defensive glass, limited them to second chance points and offensive rebounds. But, when we're finding tough jump shots and not really able to penetrate the paint and that kind of stuff, crashing the glass, gets you an easy 2 points, gets everybody fired up. And, you get rewarded on the other end sometimes.
Yeah, free throws being a big difference in this one too, Luke. Not just the misses for you guys, but the chances Nebraska got there and having to foul them down the end, and they convert.
Certainly, yeah. And again, that goes back to it's been a minute since we've been 60% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And so 2 areas there where we could have been better. You know, I want to praise our guys. I thought we were physically tough. Like, we were really physically tough in a tough place to play with a team that's really rolling. There were some times where we probably could have been a little mentally tougher on some of those decisions we made.
Luke, 3 big home games for a team that you guys are continually fighting. 3 huge home games coming up. So let's go and get some of those.
Yes, sir. Excited for the my first experience against a team up north. Ready to see that, but obviously not looking ahead. We've got one before them as well. But who you got in the Super Bowl tonight, Tim? You pulling for somebody?
Chiefs. I'm a Washington Commanders fan. I in no way can root for Philly. They just won a Super Bowl recently, so why would I need to see them get a second? May as well just see the history in 3 in a row.
Well, you'd fit in around here. I think we're surrounded by Chiefs fans out here in Nebraska.
Yeah, yes. That is, I lived in Kansas City for a lot of years. Iowa, Nebraska, that's also Chiefs Kingdom. You're right about that. Luke, you guys be safe and get back and go win some games coming up here.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Tim.
All right, thanks a lot. Luke Simons, assistant coach for Ohio State basketball. Yep, getting ready for that big game. I got some thoughts on this team, this game today. I will hit those coming up here. Again, final score 79-71. Ohio State falls to Nebraska. More the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
The fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, Buckeye Hoops fans. Timmy Hall here with you at our network studios. This was a tough one. This was one you really felt that when you looked at the numbers, when you stack these two teams against each other, their offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency numbers, even accounting for a road environment, you thought that Ohio State could have the stuff to win this game. And hearing that Aaron Bradshaw was full go, was sick the last time out. Before that, Sean Stewart was sick, so some of that's been running through this team. First time in a while, minus Michi, of course. Always still something to take into account, how this team has kind of gone on and done this and been on the bubble, missing a key starter who is a second-team All-SEC guy, and nothing's really been said about that if or when he could come back. But to lose this game the way they did when they had a 5-point lead at halftime. So they had a nice closing stretch in the first half to give them some momentum going into the second and got an early 8-point lead by knocking down a 3. But then Nebraska just started to chip away. You knew they were going to make a run, right? It's not about that. When you're up 8 and there's still, 17 and a half, 18 minutes to go and you're the road team, you expect a good basketball team like Nebraska with a guy like Bryce Williams to make a run. But it's just about what is your response after that. And Ohio State just didn't have a great one collectively. They had a couple of guys that were able to step up and make some plays, but it's a team game. You're looking for all 5 men. You're looking for all 5 guys out there to do something for you. And when it comes down to it, my thing with this team right now, and it's not a surprise because I guess my hopes were that these 2 guys would have developed and been giving a little bit more this late in the season, but you knew going in it was going to be the 5-star high school recruits, which again, like star power doesn't really matter, right? It's about what you do. What do you do? Like when you're recruited, when you're rated, that's all well and good, but what is that turn going to be? What is that next step going to be when you become a collegiate player? And things didn't work out for Aaron Bradshaw at Kentucky or Sean Stewart at Duke, or maybe not necessarily not working out, but they chose, maybe it was collectively, pursue other opportunities. And they're here. They're here at Ohio State. And if you could picture this, the difference between this Ohio State team being 14-10 right now, and that's why I've been saying on every postgame show here, these are highly contested, nerve-wracking, hot-blooded games for the Buckeyes because every single game in this point of the season really affects the bottom line. One loss puts you closer to being 500. And when you see that 10th loss on the season and you still got 7 to go, that makes you nervous. It should make you nervous. It should heighten your senses to play a little bit better, to play tougher, more connected down the stretch because you need wins. You got to get wins. I said before the show on my pregame that if they won this game, I'd feel really good. And I would get to a point where I'd almost be shocked if the Buckeyes didn't make the tourney. They didn't win this game, though, so now I got to see a little bit more. But what I was saying is the difference between these guys being 14-10 and, say, a 17-7 team at this point, 10 games over 500, is the consistency and the productivity of their bigs, and mainly Sean and Aaron. And I've liked a little bit more of what Sean Stewart has given in the terms of rebounding, effort plays, hustle, defense. The problems for him mainly have been the lack of being able to give this team any offense and also not being able to play consistently without fouling. But I like at least where he's gone. He's had, I think, 8 or 9 games with 7 or more rebounds. Aaron Bradshaw, of course, missed that portion in the middle of the season, but being 7'1" and only having 2 games all year where you've had 5 or more rebounds, and that was 6 boards against A&M and I think 8 against Indiana State. The last time he had a 5-rebound game was against A&M, and he's not able to stay on the floor a lot for what he does. It's just been difficult with that. But credit to some of these other guys and Sean Stewart when he's played hard. Because, again, it couldn't have been expected for him to be huge. But when that's what you land with and you go out and you set the team up and you get them, and that was the plan to have them be the starting 4 and 5. And that's just made life really tough on the backcourt, and the burden has been big for those guys. But amazing job by Micah Parrish for the game that he had. But again, score 79-71, Ohio State falls to Nebraska. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Now through March 3rd, get 2.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a 25 Tundra SR Crew Max for $399 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. More of the Encova Insurance postgame show coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
High-scoring offense and lockdown defense are the ingredients of a winning team. For every other ingredient, Buckeye fans trust Giant Eagle and Market District. Ready-to-eat prepared foods, a thrilling selection of fresh favorites, and everyday value from our family of brands are game day go-tos. Plus, like the Buckeyes pile up points on the court, you can score perks and earn free gas and groceries with My Perks. Giant Eagle, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Now back to the Encova Insurance Buckeye postgame show on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Timmy Hall back here at our network studios. Ohio State falls in a tough one. They had Nebraska by 5 at the halftime break. Huskers outscore the Buckeyes by 13 in the second half and go away to a 79-71 win. The point of the game for me, it was right in the middle. It was right in the middle of the second half. I want to say that it was when Aaron Bradshaw got the rebound but didn't finish the play and got out hustled by, might have been Connor Essegian. I think it was Andrew Morgan, actually. Morgan, their other big, had some good plays like that in this basketball game. He might have been the dude that fell hard on Devin Royal's leg, and hopefully Devin's going to be good. But it was when Bradshaw had the board but turned it over, and then Morgan wound up getting under the basket, and after a couple passes had the easy layup. It just got the crowd going nuts because Ohio State had been leading pretty much to that point. They were up 48-44 a couple possessions earlier. Then it's tied, and then they're looking to take that lead and get their Pinnacle Bank crowd really into it. And they did that. And then before you looked up, they continued that run. They got another Bryce Williams jumper. Bryce had another easy bucket. Then it's 54-48. They're going crazy. And then Buke Tunsil makes the three, and it's 58. It's 58-50. Bryce hit a little shot, John Mobley had a little shot in there to kind of keep it at bay, and then they hit the big three. John actually came back and hit a big three as well, but it was just, that was the one little punch back the Buckeyes had. They cut it to 58-56, and then Nebraska started to hit free throws, and then they were just better. They were just better down the stretch than Ohio State. So 14-10, you got to look ahead now. And these 3 home games coming up that starts, it's a must-win game. With Washington being 3-9, a 12-11 basketball team, I'm pretty sure that this Ohio State team has the resolve and the fight back to beat Washington. But will they win all 3 in this home stretch when you got that team up north in a weekend? Gotta beat Michigan when you have, I think it's their 1 weekend home Big Ten game. Maybe the second they've had all year. You might have to go back to the Rutgers game when it was the earlier portion of the Big Ten schedule. But you got to take them. You got to take Northwestern middle of the week. Following week, you got to get them all before you go out west with where you are right now. But I think they can do it. Going to need to see it happen for these Buckeyes. Starting with a win against Washington on Wednesday would be great. Guys, thank you for listening to the Encova Insurance Postgame Show brought to you by Encova Insurance. All rights to the material contained in this broadcast are retained as the copyrighted property of The Ohio State University and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without express written authorization. The commercial advertisements made in connection with this broadcast were made for the promotional purposes of the sponsors and should not be construed as an endorsement by The Ohio State University of the products or services. The Ohio State Sports Network is a production of Radio Ohio Incorporated. The announcers for today's game were chosen by Radio Ohio and Learfield in conjunction with The Ohio State University. The executive producer of Ohio State Radio Sports is Skip Mossick. And on behalf of our studio producer, Bodie Wells, and for Paul Keels and Ron Stokes, I'm Timmy Hall, inviting you to join us Wednesday night at 8:30 as the Buckeyes host Washington. We'll be on the air with the Toyota Buckeye pregame show beginning at 7:45. Today's game brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast. Again, the final score 79-71. Buckeyes fall on the road to Nebraska. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on your home of the Buckeyes. Live and local weekday mornings beginning at 6 with Morning Juice on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.